Hi there, I'm Andy, a moon-chasing, manifesting, wander lover, and feel-good aficionado. Consider me your woo-woo best friend. This show is a sacred space for ideas, concepts, and modalities that might be considered taboo, but that I personally find a great magic in. In these conversations, my mission is to inspire confidence, worth, and mystical thinking in our modern world. Let's get into it, shall we? Big, juicy dreams. That's what we're going to talk about today. Dreams. What are yours? Think about it for a moment. When I'm working with my students and clients, when talking about dreams, I often ask, what are you striving for? Tell me your dreams. It's a simple intro. It's a simple way to begin the process of alchemizing our success. So I ask you, what are your dreams? What are you striving for? The next step, however, when really considering how to alchemize our success, which is the title of this show today, is to consider if you could take it up a notch and reach for a dream beyond what you believe is currently possible in this present reality, what would that dream be? So think about it. Maybe take a moment and let's go through this process. So, you've considered what are you striving for, and now we're taking it up a notch. Then finally, we're going to go up one more level. Okay, now let's get wildly ambitious. Consider those dreams that would change the trajectory of your life. What do those dreams look like? What would your life look like? What shifts would occur? How would you exist differently on this plane we live in this time on Earth? Really take a moment and reflect on that. That's where the big, juicy dreams really lie, in that reality. The reality is, for most of us, we're often so focused on what's directly ahead of us, that moment just one step ahead, that we can't even see the blue sky over our head. We believe that big wins aren't for us, or that someone else has more resources, has better luck, has better tools, just knows more, is more magnetic, is more connected, and we are this little tiny speck that doesn't have an opportunity to be something great. And let's be real, sometimes other people do have more resources and they do have better tools and they have had more opportunity. We know without question that there's all sorts of oppression and systematic ways people have been held down. We live in a system that does not want to see the collective rise. If we just think about the basics of it, what it was like to go to school as a child, the standardized testing, the food that was fed to us in the cafeterias, all of that from the jump, we are not set up to be wildly connected 5D beings living an expansive life. That is just not how it goes. And that's no insult to the teachers and the caretakers and the people that do everything in their power to take good care of children and each of us as we were when we were growing up. It's just the way the system was created. We are not set up to have a collective expansion. So what can you do as someone who wants to make an unlimited impact while having unlimited wealth to do good things in the world, while also having unlimited freedom to live the life that you so choose? What can you even do? What is the steps forward? understanding the world we live in, and having those sorts of big, juicy dreams? Well, believing your success is possible and having a plan of how to get there is a really beautiful place to begin. When you're operating with a powerful plan and a success-driven mindset, your mistakes, your possible failures will feel less scary because let's be honest, no one who's had big, beautiful success in this world hasn't failed, and probably failing often, failing fast forward, a concept that means being comfortable with allowing yourself to fall down time and time again. It's a concept that a mentor of mine very early in my career shared with me, that this idea of failing fast forward. When we fail fast, that means we took a risk. We were willing to get out there and try something, and we failed. We did it quickly, which gives us an opportunity to get back up and try again, to get back up and try again. So my approach, this alchemy of success process, looks like this. We begin with the vision. We hold the vision in our minds. Then we set goals along the way. And then finally, we hold a crystal clear picture of the dreams that we're working to achieve. So it goes vision, goals, and then dreams. Vision, goals, and then dreams. This is the stuff we need to turn those dreams we have, those big, juicy dreams, into reality. This is the alchemy of success. So let's take it step by step. This is a process actually that in the Sea Changers community, which is my women's empowerment group for soul-led women in life and business, we've worked through this process quite a few times in our program. And it's one I come back to often because it is so powerful. So the first component of the alchemy of success process is vision. Vision already exists within you. You really just need to tune in. And there's lots of ways to tune in. We talk about the process of tuning in a lot here in this community, on this show, in my programs. You can do it through meditation. You can do it through breath work. You can do it through journaling, through the practice of ritual. You can do it through all sorts of exercises and techniques. So start there. Tune in. And then consider your vision. Ask yourself, what does my ideal future look like? And then go back further. Go back to the times when you were a child. Take a moment and think back to the times of little baby you and what you loved to do. Scientists believe that by the age of 7, most of our beliefs had been formed. So somewhere within you at a very early age, your vision began to take shape. For me, when I was below the age of 7, I was playing dress up. I was digging around in my mother's closet, reading her Vogue magazines and considering all the creativity that I could get into, inspired by what I was seeing in her magazines. So that was a vision I held really young. And for those that have been around for a while and know a bit about my past, I worked in the beauty industry and the fashion industry. Those were the very first industries I was really drawn to. The other things that I loved as a child were my experiences in nature. I loved being outside. I was kind of a weird kid talking to sticks and rocks and trees, and I still do that in a very different way, or maybe not so different. I felt very connected in that way. It's something I really loved. I started a club when I was, I think, maybe 5 in my neighborhood called the Rainbow Club. And it was a club about nature and about the experiences that I wanted to share that I was having in the natural world with my other little 5-year-old friends. So take a moment and think back to what you loved to do when you were a child. Really think about it. And then fast forward to today. And if you were like me and you loved dressing up, perhaps your love of dress up translates today to a career in fashion. Or maybe you had one of those little easy bake ovens and you absolutely loved spending your time cooking meals for your teddy bears and stuffed animals and your imaginary friends. And today you have a love of sharing food and recipes. Or maybe you really loved going on outdoor adventures and excursions at summer camp. And today you have a love of exploring the natural world through travel, and that's something you like to share. Vision is an internal story of what's important to you. The vision you hold inspires, compels, and lights you up. That vision will never leave you. You have to be dialed in, completely tuned in to align with it. So that's where we begin, with the vision. Next is our goals. So I think we all know what goals are, but I think it's worth a little reminder. Goals are specifically designed. They're milestones that require action steps to reach intended outcomes along the way. Your goals are essentially a stepping stone path that will lead you toward your dreams. It's really kind of, think of it this way. There's these signposts on the map, and the original destination on this map is that vision. That's that home you live in. And at the other end of the map is this pot of gold, this cloud in the sky, whatever you want it to be. And these signposts along the way are the goals, and that cloud in the sky or that pot of gold is your dreams. That's your dream destination. All sorts of top performers, whether it be athletes or executives or musicians or actors or just high achievers in general in all sorts of fields, medical field, scientists, you could go on and on. I could go on and on. All use some sort of goal-setting practice to create motivation, to stay aligned with their vision, and to work towards those big dreams. Setting goals helps us to organize our time and our resources, and goal setting also helps us to focus on what knowledge we will need to acquire in order to reach those goals. It's how you create accountability for yourself. There's some things, for example, that I'm working towards in regards to goals. There's some achievements that I see as these signposts, and those achievements are requiring that I take some classes, that I join specific communities. Goal setting inevitably will create some sort of internal pressure and tension within you. However, that pressure and tension, it's not a bad thing when it comes to stepping outside of your comfort zone and encouraging you to go do the things that will help you to reach that next signpost. This pressure and tension is not the same as having extreme stress about something. This is a good pressure, a good tension that's going to inspire you to reach that next level of whatever it is that you want in your life. The goal setting method that I love, which is a tried and true classic, you can find this all over the place, is the SMART method. SMART is an acronym. It's the SMART method for goal setting. So here's what SMART stands for and how it applies. So the S it stands for specific. So being clear and precise. The M is measurable. So you need to be able to quantify the progress. The A is achievable. So is your goal attainable and realistic enough so that you believe that it is possible? And I am someone that encourages setting really lofty goals and really wildly ambitious goals. But you have got to believe that that goal can be achieved, that you can get there. So if you need to start with your first signpost, that first stepping stone, being a little bit dialed back, maybe go back to those first 3 questions we talked about. Maybe it's starting with when we talked about, okay, what are you striving for? Maybe that first answer you gave, set a goal around that achievement, what you're striving for. We'll get to the wildly ambitious dreams. We will get there. But perhaps your first goals, when we're considering the A for achievable, are what you're striving for type of goals. The R is for resources. You have to have what you need or know that you can get whatever it is that you need, or get to where you need to go, and you won't have to rely on divine intervention or the power of other people in order to get there. So you've got to believe that those resources are in your grasp. T is time. So there needs to be a defined start and end date. I'm going to start working towards this goal, and the end date of when I'm going to have reached and achieved this goal there's a set date. It needs to be a set date. Okay? So specific, measurable, achievable resources available to you. Time. SMART goals. The final component in this alchemy of success process is dreams. The big, juicy dreams. This is where we get to be incredibly creative. We get to let our minds wander. These dreams are those substantial wishes and highest aspirations that would completely change the trajectory of your life. So going back to that list of 3 dream questions at the beginning of this episode, this is that wildly ambitious achievement. These dreams are the gift in which, when we attain this gift, when we get there, an inner desire that would fill us up so completely, that desire is fulfilled. To get crystal clear on your dreams, you guys know I love a list. Create a dream list. Your dream list should be a personal, handwritten list of what you want to call into your life. So is there some manifestation in this process? You guys know me. You know it. There definitely is. And there's a magic in this process of handwriting. This is your hand, your conscious, and your subconscious mind working together to deeply incorporate what you're calling in. Studies using MRI scans have shown that handwriting versus typing activates the areas of our mind associated with cognition and memory. We're also able to induce a meditative brain state when practicing long-form handwriting practices. So that meditative brain state, while we're in this flow of handwriting, will further imprint what we're calling into our subconscious mind. So is there some manifestation here? Obviously there is. There is. So we're telling our minds that this is possible. We're telling our subconscious mind that this is possible, because that 10% of your conscious mind might believe or think it believes it's possible. But the work we really need to do is with that 90% that's below the surface, what's that iceberg underneath the water of your subconscious or unconscious mind space. When you write about your dreams, write in the present tense using I am and I have statements, as if the results you're working towards have already happened. That I am, I have statement practice will start to align that subconscious mind to this achievement as well. Ask yourself these questions to alchemize your success as you work backwards from dream, stepping back through your goals into your original vision. So the first question is, what is the big dream, that big, juicy dream I'm working to achieve? So going back to those 3 questions at the beginning of this episode, this is that wildly ambitious dream. Now use that I am or I have statement to journal out your answer. After you've done that, now let's go to the goals. What milestones am I committing to reaching as my dream becomes reality? Now you have an opportunity to really work through all the things you need to do. Are there classes you need to take? Are there people you need to meet? Are there resources you need to connect to? What are all the things that will allow you to hit the SMART goals? And then the final question is really just a check-in. What is the inspired vision that exists within me always? And just check yourself. Is that wildly ambitious, big, juicy dream aligned to that inspired vision? Do your I am and I have statements line up to that inspired vision? Are these SMART goals that you're going to be working through, are they aligned to this vision that lives within you? And sometimes we get to this step and we go, oh, wait, no, it doesn't. These goals don't align. These dreams don't align. And what's typically happening there is we are, quite frankly, living someone else's life. We are striving for things that someone else wants for us. We are allowing our programming, our conditioning, that systematic, that system that doesn't want the collective to rise. We're allowing our dreams to be dictated by that system or simply by someone else. So if your vision is not aligned to those goals and to those dreams, check yourself and start again. Start again. Staying aligned with your vision, staying aligned so that your goals that you're working towards, as you work to bring your dreams into reality, is going to ensure that what you're up to is truly going to fulfill you, to fill up your life, to light up your life. Something else that I love to do when working to create some accountability and to work with that subconscious brain space is to create a dream board. I've talked about these dream boards before, and I think in the episode about manifesting my dream house, I'm sure I shared with you all the dream board that I built for the house that I now live in here in LA. This dream board process is one I practice all the time. I like to use Pinterest, and then I use an app like Unfold or Over is another one that you can use on your phone to build your dream board. And then I save those dream boards to my phone home screen. And then I also sometimes save those dream boards to my computer screensaver background too. And I do that because, well, the reality is we pick up our phones all day long. We're constantly checking our phones. So every time I check my phone, I get this little subconscious hit of what it is that I'm working towards. So right now, what's on my dream board on my phone? Well, let me just open it up. Okay. So, if I tell you, I'll be telling you all my big juicy dreams. Well, there's a beach house. There's a couple surfing in the ocean. There's a mama with her babe. There's women doing yoga on a beach. There's a woman, let's see, the woman is actually Natalie Portman, to be honest. And she's got one of those clapper things in front of her face. It's like she's clearly filming something. There is, what else? You get the idea. So that just gives you a little peek into some of the things that I'm working on creating in my life, some of the dreams that I have and some of the goals that I'm working with. And all of this stuff, when I look at this picture on my phone, completely aligns with my inspired vision, that vision that's always been within me. Now, before we close this episode, I do want to mention this. What I didn't talk about in this process of alchemizing your success is the hustle. For many of us, especially those who have our own businesses, perhaps you got into having your own business because you had this idea of freedom, and then all of a sudden you're literally working around the clock. It's like a 24/7 hustle. Many of us have grown up in this culture that idolizes this idea of the hustle, that you've got to claw and scrape your way forward. In this process of alchemizing your success, hustle is not included. If this scenario feels familiar to you, you wake up, you check the phone, you scroll Instagram, you get on the TikTok, you get on your email, you check the DMs, then you check the texts, you go eat your breakfast, and then you get to the office, and then there's more DMs and more emails and back-to-back Zoom meetings. And oh my gosh, it's only 10 o'clock and I'm completely zapped. Then you fuel up on coffee, and then it's time to try to get creative. But oh my gosh, there's 7 more things on your to-do list. And everything on that to-do list is something that you've promised to other people. Then your mom calls, and then your best friend texts you, and she needs dating advice. And oh my gosh, 5 more DMs came in and another round of emails. And oh, I forgot I was going to pop onto that Clubhouse conversation today. And okay, I think I'm going to try to maybe eat some lunch. And now, wait, did I ever have that creative time? No, it never really happened. But I have a project that's due. And even though it's not really aligned with me, at least it's a paycheck. And okay, now it's dinner time. Maybe I could get a quick yoga session in. Oh my God, but I'm starving because I never had lunch. And I've got a client text coming in, and I'm back on the phone, and the laptop is still here. And maybe the day could get done, and now my creative mind is totally fried, so I'm going to Netflix and chill or pass out on the couch, and maybe tomorrow I can try it all again. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. If that is how you're living, that is hustle culture through and through, and there is no alchemy of success in that process. If you feel like if you're not hustling, you're not advancing. If you're not hustling, you're not meeting the right people. If you're not hustling, you're not going to be making money. This type of hustle, that constant connection to the devices, the blurred hours, the lack of calendar management, committing to projects and jobs and people that we aren't aligned with, all of this will leave your business, will leave you, will leave your relationships dead in the water before you can even get the sale up. There is no alchemizing success in this process. So I want to mention that if that scenario that I just described was you, perhaps when you start to consider your vision and you start to consider your goals, and you think about your big, juicy dreams, you consider how much of the stuff that goes on in your day is really serving you. And see where you can clean it up. See where you can create sacred space for yourself so that the things that you want to live in your space, the things that you want to be doing in your time, at least have a fighting chance to find you. Okay? Okay. If this process is something you're super into and you want to spend more time on it with me, we work on this process in the Opulent Shift program within my Sea Changers community. We launch that program 3 times a year. The next time we will be launching it will be in October. No, that's not true. It starts in October. So signups are open now. You can actually register for that program now. It always sells out quickly when we start talking about it. So if you're interested, you can always shoot me a message in the DMs or the emails. I'm not going to be checking mine as frequently as that scenario I just mentioned, but you can email me or you can send me a DM and I can tell you more about the program. And the people that usually get in the program when we launch it, when we put it out to the world, it's the people on our email list that usually get those 12 spots. It's a pretty small program in terms of the number of people in it. The doors are open now, but we have not sent out the big announcement. So you guys are hearing it first here. So if you do want a spot in that program, you can grab a spot now before we send it out to the email list and make the big announcement. Okay. If this episode was something that resonated with you, leave me a comment on our Instagram page and let me know. My magical team who runs the Instagram page, they're just superstars, and we love reading your comments on the Instagram page for the show, which is at your woo woo BFF. You can also send me a note over on Wee Wee Girl. That's my Instagram page, which I run that one, of course, because that's my page. And you can also leave us a review. That helps us tremendously. The podcasting systems, the Apples and the Google Pods and the Spotifys of the world, wherever you're able to leave reviews, the more reviews we get, the more opportunity we have for our show to be seen. So that means the world to us when you do that. Okay, next week I'll be back with an interview. We have some really incredible interviews coming up. We'll be talking about Akashic Records. We'll be talking about the chakra systems, lots of other fun things coming up that you guys have been asking for in our upcoming interviews. With that, we are complete. I am excited to hear what success you find using this Alchemy of Success process. So give us a shout, let me know. And with that, I'll see you again next week. Much love.